¿Qué pedo? Luan.
Now, depending on if you actually believe this story or not, consequences.
Then you in trouble. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your homeboy Lil. Appreciate you for checking in. And right now we're about to check out the homie Atazi on a YouTuber just got robbed for $1 million. Don't know how it happened. Don't know who bro is, but we about to go ahead and check it out. Check it out.
This YouTuber had his home invaded with thieves making off with around $1 million worth of valuables while him, his wife, and son were held hostage. However, the internet isn't entirely convinced that it actually happened, with some viewers pointing out that the thieves and him had some very questionable choices right after the theft happened, which apparently don't quite add up. And now people are wondering, was this an actual heist or a carefully staged stunt for views? And let's be real. I mean, considering how many times that we've already seen
Bro, people are out here doing too damn much for clout and for views. Like, I don't even know how. I was over here feeling sympathetic in the beginning. I'm like, damn, bro, you ain't got to be getting robbed with your baby and your girl right there. You feel me? Let's hear it, man.
creators chasing clicks with wilder and wilder content every day, it wouldn't really be a surprise that people would be, pretty quick to question that. But at the same time, once the police get involved, faking something like this at this scale always becomes a whole different game. Because, filing a false police report could easily land you in jail in pretty much any country in the world. But obviously, it's not like that would be a shocker here on this channel compared to what we've covered in the past. Either way, though, meet Alfredo
Any of y'all that subscribe to bro, fans of his, or like ever come check out the video reactions I do and everything, bro be covering some stuff that I'm like, what are you doing? Like, that I could 100% believe this played out. Like, God,
Valenzuela, a 32-year-old YouTuber from Sonora, Mexico, whose content essentially revolves around high-end sports cars and extreme car modifications. His YouTube channel description pretty much sums it up. I upload daily videos about my life, along with tons of car content. And it's safe to say this dude has been committed to the lifestyle, since he has not only been making videos about cars, but also owns a vehicle customization workshop, sells online make money courses, those types of people, operates a cell phone store, and runs a restaurant on top of all that. So Alfredo is clearly very diversified. Then on top of that, he's also extremely open about his love for gambling. Because if you check his Twitter account, he's constantly posting his sports betting combinations, hoping to hit it big.
How much he putting up? Damn. Oh, okay. So, bro, okay.
Alfredo currently lives in San Pedro Garcia in the state of Nuevo León, which is significant to the story because the city is considered not only one of the safest areas in Mexico, but also in all of Latin America. So, what happened? Well, on Monday, June 23rd, in the early hours of the morning, Alfredo's world would get turned upside down. According to reports, 5 heavily armed men stormed into his house. At that moment, Alfredo's wife was actually live streaming on TikTok, and the invasion was partially and unintentionally captured during her broadcast.
That's a little sus.
¿Qué pedo? Luan.
Yeah, saying that's horrifying is an understatement. The suspects reportedly held Alfredo, his wife, and their baby.
Obviously, we don't know the whole story. Yeah, but like, if this is real, bro, like, don't be hitting people's houses when they babying their girl up in the house. Like, God, man, have some sort of decency. Like, I get you already robbing somebody and doing all that, but come on, man.
At gunpoint, they demanded access to a safe that contained luxury watches, jewelry, and a substantial amount of cash. The estimates suggest there was about 1 million pesos in cash alone, just sitting in that safe, which is about $53,000. But that wasn't all they took. The criminals also made it off with Alfredo's Lamborghini Urus, valued at around like $250,000 US. And then when you add everything up, the cash, the jewelry, the watches, the Lamborghini.
Y'all, I'm being 100% with y'all. As y'all already know, I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I've seen like a lot of people steal cars. Like, I had a homie whenever I was like 13 steal one of my neighbor's cars. Picked me up to go to school. I honestly had no idea. But like, why do people steal cars? You have your license number, like, and as soon as you report, hey, somebody just stole my blue Ursus, my Lambo truck out the out my garage, like, everybody for counties know. Like that's, I don't know. That's always been wild.
Authorities estimate the total value of stolen goods was about 25 million pesos, or roughly $1.3 million.
They need to cut it out with
So
that pesos.
hours after this alleged robbery, Alfredo started posting videos
still
on
a
his
lot,
social
though.
media accounts. In one of them, he shows bruises on him and his wife's bodies, clearly being emotional as he recounts what happened, urging authorities to strengthen security in his area. And the most harrowing moment comes when Alfredo speaks about his son and recalls how one of the attackers pointed a firearm directly at the child's head. Now, depending on if you
hell no.
actually
They're doing this
believe
for
this
views.
story or not, either you feel extremely terrible for the guy or you think, how would someone ever make up something like this for content? It's like the good castle and evil castle meme route. But either way, after the incident, the authorities did not treat it like a joke. San Pedro police immediately set up security checkpoints along major roads in the area, a standard protocol for such situations. The state attorney general's office launched a formal investigation. Here's what some of the details began to emerge about how the robbery actually went down. According to the prosecutor, the perpetrators accessed the home through a mountainous area, basically bypassing the standard security measures, which indicates they were not only familiar with the area, but they'd actually planned this whole thing out. And a few days later,
Bro, I remember, if y'all don't remember, a few years back, I think somebody was trying to get to one of the Kardashians. I think it was Chloe, but she had like a stalker. They had to call the police department, fire department, because they're right there in the middle of the mesa, you know what I mean? Like, or the desert. So it's like they got all these entry points. Like, what the hell, man?
Alfredo himself decided to explore that same mountainous area and documented everything, sharing on video on his channel of the path that the intruders likely used to approach his house. But not too long after, the stolen Lamborghini was actually found abandoned in an underground parking lot at a Walmart in the local area. So according to surveillance footage, the criminals were being followed by another vehicle as they drove the stolen SUV, pointing out to some sort of coordinated operation that may have involved even more people than initially suspected. Later on that week, the state attorney general's office reported that Colombian criminal groups may have been operating in the city of San Pedro. During an interview, Nuevo Leon's attorney general, Javier Flores Saldivar. Oh man, there's probably so many names I'm botching here in this video. During an interview, Nuevo Leon's attorney general, Javier Flores Saldivar, stated the investigation suggests one of these gangs may have been involved in this robbery. He explained they reportedly entered through the back, which is a mountainous area. There's been several cases here involving Colombian gangs. They operate here in Jalisco, which is another Mexican state. But here's where things start to get a little bit complicated, because despite all the official police involvement and the investigation, a significant portion of Alfredo's audience started doubting this whole story, and they're worried it's all fake. So I guess the biggest red flag for the skeptics here is the timing of the events. First, the robbery allegedly happened, and then on the same day, a highly polished video recounting the entire incident was uploaded to his channel. A sequence of events that for some people felt a little bit too convenient to be true. Another thing that raised eyebrows for skeptics was the spike in views, as engagement on this particular video exploded compared to his previous uploads. Because, I mean, to be real, we've already seen creators pull off stunts way more extreme than this for views. As outrageous as the idea of faking a robbery sounds, it's not
Bro, I'm about to be mad as hell if they brought them babies into this for some clout once again. Like, oh my God. It's weird 2025. That is the year for attention. Like, God damn, bro.
Unprecedented in a world where, some influencers have gone to even darker lengths for some basic clout. Either way, the 2 days after the incident, Alfredo felt the need to address the growing skepticism. Because in a Facebook post, he said, "I don't understand how there are people saying it's fake when they held a gun to my child's head. I don't know what's going on in their minds, but I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Think about how, if this were fake, I'd be getting myself into massive legal trouble." I'm gonna be real here and say I don't have an opinion on this because there's just not enough information to back the skeptics currently. And honestly, he has a bit of a point here. If you fake a robbery and get the police involved and it gets proven to be all fake, I think it's safe to say that you're looking at some pretty serious legal consequences.
Yeah, then you in trouble if that's the situation. But we don't know yet, y'all. We don't know yet. Because that, honestly, it is kind of sus with that full polished video coming out so quick. Then homegirl, and whenever you're a live streamer and all that, especially what I've come to find out, like, you got it on all the time. But it was mad suspicious, homegirl just over there. Huh? What? But I don't, like I said, I don't know. And there's some people in the world that really do terrible things. You got to be on the lookout for sure. But I don't know, though, too. Like, that's a lot to put your baby through just for views if you're not a piece of shit.
Because this isn't some like Liver King situation. Because, for example, I recently covered that on this channel where he faked being arrested just for a video. In that case, though, he was using fake cops. Like, there was no real police report revolving that fake arrest. But here, if Alfredo's story turned out to be fabricated, the consequences would be way worse. Because, I mean, here we're talking about false police reports, potential insurance fraud if you tried to claim anything, wasting police resources during active investigation. That's not just like some poorly thought out prank. That's the kind of thing that could really land you in court. And then plus, obviously, if you involve specialized tactical units and have the state attorney's general office conducting a formal investigation, you're no longer dealing with like the local police anymore. This is wasting some serious resources if it's all fake. As of right now, the police are continuing to investigate the case, but so far,
honestly, y'all, filing a false police report, I used to think like, whatever, like they're all out here, go check it out. But to be honest, now that I found out that if you call the ambulance to come save your life or anyone of whoever your loved one's lives, that's like $6,000 for that ride. Like, so I can imagine how much mobilizing an entire unit, an entire force to have to go out looking just for nothing, and then you over there like, well, I needed, it was just a prank though. So I don't know.
There's been no trace of the stolen property or the suspects except for the Lambo. But this kind of outcome is kind of common in cases like this, even when the reports are entirely legitimate. Recovery rates for stolen luxury items and cash tend to be basically very low. For example, in 2019 in the United States, less than 30% of stolen items were recovered nationwide, especially when it comes to jewelry, watches, electronics, cash, and so on, because those things just vanish. And of course, if they turn up years later, it gets a little bit tricky to figure out, oh, was this actually their thing? Whether this robbery was real or fake, it really highlights a much darker reality about the content creation space, especially when it comes to luxury lifestyle content. For example, just a few months ago, I covered Jack Doherty, where he essentially had this $300,000 chain snatched on the streets of LA. Because when your entire brand is built off of showing off expensive things, cars, watches, diamond chains,
I think that was like just about wrapping it up, but like for real though, this is just like what your mama taught you and your pops taught you and all that. Don't be going out there like just flashing money, walking around with bros walking around with purses, 100,000 in it. Like, and it's like, bro, for what? You want to be robbed so bad. You want somebody to come up, test you so you could look hood so bad with security. But why? But why? But why though? I don't know, man. But y'all let me know how y'all felt about it in the comments. If y'all are having with it, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I understand y'all could have been anywhere in the world, anywhere on the internet, but instead you came to kick it with your homeboy Lil. Preach, logging out.